Now I gotta tell you, no words can really emphasize with just how surprised I was at how fast that DJI quad was flying. What's up guys, Johnny here, welcome back. Today we're out at the field in Detroit looking to test one thing in particular, and that's flying with DJI quads. I got a brand new quad built up. It's actually a Pyro Cube frame. I tried to put in a DJI Air unit because that's what I've had the most luck with when flying DJI, but that didn't quite fit. So I ended up picking up a Vista. I got the Vista in there. I got a full-on DJI quad. We're gonna hit the course with it. See what it's like to fly with it. Does it work out? I also brought my timing system, live time. Lots and lots of guys are reporting they cannot get it to work reliably. They're always running into issues, not reliably picking up lap times. Am I gonna have the same issues? Can I work around that? We're gonna test it out and see, but yeah, let's get to flying. We got a beautiful day here, about 97 degrees outside, but I'm the only one here, so keeping it nice and safe out here flying the track. All right guys, so I got my full setup going on here behind me. I got my speaker with me, computer, timing system, all that set up. The track's in a bit of rough shape today, so I gotta get out there and do a little bit of fixing up, but let's get the track fixed up and start flying. All right guys, so that's 7 batteries in on the Caddx. It's been interesting. Now, the thing that I don't like is that this is a brand new quad and I haven't tested it before. I don't know if I'm seeing issues with the quad or what it is, but I'm just having a little bit of moments of like, it almost seems like the quad's not responding quite right just for like a brief moment, and it really takes away my confidence level when I'm flying around the course. Now that might be an issue with the quad, it might be something to do with the DJI part, I don't know. I know when taking off, like, it stutters a lot at first, then it seems like as it's moving, it kind of cools down a little bit, it comes back for a while, and then when I land, it gets stuttery again just because I think, you know, it's overheating. So anyway, let's fire up an analog quad, let's fly the same course analog quad, see how it compares, and then I'll go back to that DJI quad after I'm warmed up on analog. Alright guys, so that was short-lived. I actually only have one working analog quad with me, and now I have 0. So things felt really weird. The camera angle, everything was different. I tried to fly, it lost control, it lost battery. I look up and I see just smoke flying out of my quad. So yeah, great day. Let's take a look. Man, ESC gone up in flames, brand new flight controller on top of it, gone. It's not my day. Well, since I have no analog quads, I guess it's more flying HD DJI. So far what I've noticed is I am definitely missing laps. Playing with my settings a little bit, but I have it way more sensitive for DJI than I usually do for my analog quads, and yet it still can't pick it up. I bump up that power to 200 milliwatts, it's still missing laps. So this is just gonna be a huge pain for anyone trying to race with this thing. All right, guys, I took advantage of that time. I lowered my motor timing. I also increased the DMAG compensation to high on this particular ESC. So far, that's actually helping. It's doing a little bit less twitching. It feels a little bit more confidence inspiring. It's still not quite like what I'd hoped for, but it is getting better. So at least part of that was the quad issue, which is good to know. I still keep flying it. One thing that is bothering me is this screen is so big and beautiful, honestly, that when I'm flying my camera angle, I'm looking more at the top, and the screen is so big as I look up, I'm staring up with my eyes, and it's giving me a little bit of a headache. So I might have to tweak that camera angle if I can a little bit, or just do something to try to help out with that. Alright, so I put through probably 15, 16 different batteries on a DJI quad. I really want to call it quits for now, get an analog quad working, so I'm going to get back to work, see if I can fix up one of these analog quads and fly it out here for a little bit of comparison. I really don't like taking off with the DJI quad. It's a crystal clear, perfect picture. As soon as you launch, it goes to focus mode, it stutters for a second, and then it smooths out. It just, man, for doing a hard launch at a race, that'd be really tough, but really the biggest issue is that timing system. It's just a total killer. There's lots of other issues with racing DJI quads. You're not gonna be able to do it at big multi-GP races. We don't have a good way to record the video, to live stream it. There's all sorts of things that gotta be worked on, but I just wanted to try flying it on a track. So I'm glad to be doing that, but I really gotta start comparing it to that analog quad. After adjusting those settings, things flew better. I got down to a 12.3 lap on this. Let's just see if I can fix up an analog quad and then do better and compare it. All right, looks like we're in business. We got an analog quad, the motor spin. It looks like it'll fly. Let's see what it does. All right, first quad on analog 13.1, not a 12.3. So the DJI is actually pretty damn fast. It felt like that was a lot faster, but the time said a different story. All right, 12-2 on that one. Took 2 packs on analog to beat the DJI quad, but man, I'm actually pretty impressed with how fast the DJI quad was going. Alright guys, so there you have it. We just finished up flying a bunch of packs with our analog quad. We flew the DJI digital system, we flew the analog system on the same track back to back to get a feel of those two things. Now I gotta tell you, no words can really emphasize with just how surprised I was and how fast that DJI quad was flying. I'm glad that I had numbers, I'm glad that I had lap times. I mean, I would have liked to have all the lap times of the DJI system, but I'm glad that I had lap times. A 12.3 on this track turned out to be pretty fast. Now at the end of the day on the analog system, I managed to get an 11.1. 1.2 second difference is not insignificant. That's a big difference. But I'm flying a faster quad in that analog quad. They're slightly faster motors. It's a lighter quad. It should be faster. And I had a lot of warm-up time to do that in the analog time. But what really spoke to me was when I first picked up the analog quad, it felt like I was going really fast, and yet the times were not that much faster. And yet when I flew the DJI quad, it didn't feel that fast. And a lot of that comes down to the field of view that you see in the DJI system. It does not live up. It's not the same as what we're used to as racers. I personally like a 1.8mm lens on a runcam racer, and that is way wider than what I get out of the DJI system. But I was still able to get used to it, and my lap times are actually pretty good. Now I will say I do think there is variable latency that you can tell. I did not have the confidence that I have with the analog system when I flew the DJI system. I didn't feel that at all when I was just flying around in my backyard, taking it relatively slow. I felt perfectly in control in that situation. But take it out to a race course where I'm using full throttle and pushing things, and it doesn't inspire confidence. It felt like maybe there were some issues with the quad. I mean, we solved some of those issues, but it still feels like there might have been some other issues going on or something, but it did not inspire confidence in me. So when you factor in the fact that I cannot go as fast, it doesn't inspire confidence, you can't really race it at big races because DJI is not supporting the community. They're not putting out the tools we need to live stream, to DVR review. If we want to do that sort of system, we get like the smart controller DJI. It's going to cost a race director somewhere around $1,300, $1,400 per channel to record those things, and that's just not feasible. Let alone the computing power it would take to do that. It's just absolutely not an option. So I really hope DJI can come up with something better for us, because at the end of the day, if everyone was flying these things and it was an equal disadvantage, it would be a lot of fun. The picture quality you get, I mean, you sort of forget how good it is when you take these off and you put on those analog goggles. The analog pictures are so much smaller, you see nowhere near the same detail. It's just really striking, and I think it'd be really cool to be flying out here on a track, maybe with slower quads, where you could see each other and like align for passes. There'd be a lot of fun there. But as it is, it's not a competitive tool. It's not a competitive tool for racing. It'd really be more meant for, I want to have some fun with some buddies. Let's go out to the field. We all have DJI quads. Let's put forward these things and just have a blast. And I think that's where it would do. But when it comes to actual people who want to compete and race, this is not an option. But that being said, I'm still really impressed with how it performed. I'm going to put up side by side analog versus HD. You'll see that the field of view is very different. The speed that it looks like the quads are going is really different, but it's not as different going around the track as I originally thought. So, you know, kudos to DJI for that. But yeah, I love the system. It is really cool. My freestyle quad is DJI. I don't use it very much, but when I freestyle, freestyle DJI. It's definitely a better option for that. But when it comes to racing, analog is king, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. The one I am really curious about actually is the Bite Frost or Shark Bite system. That might be made for racing. I hope Fat Shark gets on it, gets that out there, supports the community, and I'll be really excited to see what that looks like, because a digital future would be a nice future. But anyway, I hope you found that interesting. I hope, you know, maybe those results, maybe you learned something that you didn't. Let me know what your thoughts have been. Have you tried the DJI system? How did you like it for the racetrack? let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And anyway, as always, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace!